First story. What can happen on Tinder? Story of an acquaintance of mine. He met a girl on Tinder. They both had SX on their profiles. They texted, called each other. He shows up at her house. She asks him to buy groceries for the table. He buys groceries. She says, "I'm running a little late. Leave your bag with the concierge, so you don't have to carry heavy things in your hands." He leaves it. He waits. The girl is gone. He goes to the concierge, and she says some guy took the food. No food, no girl. I laughed my ass off. On what, I wonder, basis the concierge gives someone else's things, if the guy did not ask to hand them over, but gave them for the safekeeping? That concierge was from Tinder. Second story. I'm done. I came to work today, and at the entrance I was greeted by manager, Kate, and she started talking some nonsense to me. I categorically disagree with her, and we argue about how to do the right thing. We argued for 2 hours, I, though with the physical and nerves, but I proved that I was right. I realize that I'll have to stay late at work. I write a message to my wife. "Kate, I'm gonna be late today." And the wife's name isn't Kate at all. Message read, not deleted. And no reply. Considering she's jealous of my ex-wife, whose name is Kate, I'm F. Kate. I'm gonna go take one last look at the sun. A little backstory. I was working in technical support in a large company, working remotely. At that time, there was a relationship, and the girl lived with me. I caught one chatty department head, who made jokes, scolded someone, and so on, in general, a cheerful colleague. And all of this was seen and heard by my ex. Speaking of exes, she was a jealous person. Naturally, after handing up the phone, on me flew a bunch of claims and questions, with whom it is I so nicely communicated. I never cheated on her, let alone with co-workers. And now the story itself, in the evening of the same day. We are sitting in the car at around 10 p.m., waiting in the line for the car wash. We get a call from the aforementioned colleague. My ex was as surprised as I was. It's not customary in our company to make work-related calls in the evening. I have nothing to hide from the girl, so I pick up the phone and put it on speakerphone. C. Name. Hi. How are you? What are you doing? You should have seen my ex's eyes and my FG face at this turn of events. Me. Username. You must have the wrong. C. Name. No, I'm not wrong. C. Come to my place. She was putting a nail in my coffin with every word. Me. You're mistaken. I'm not the name you need. C. No, you're the one. Remember we had a deal, and now I have an opportunity. I'm the one with the FG opportunity to die before my destiny. For about 5 minutes, she was rubbing something in my face, and I was trying to drain her. And there was a girl sitting next to me, showing me that I was FK'd. I hang up, and then the ex-girlfriend asks me a question. What the FK was that about? I don't know what the FK it was. I managed to convince my ex that the person was mistaken, especially judging by the voice. She was a little under the alcohol. The next day I wrote to her, in the work chat, but there was no reply from her, and I didn't see any more requests from her. Third story. Girl, I don't dance. I once rented an apartment with a dancer. She found me through an ad looking for a place to live. It was right near work. 2 apartments, 13th floor, nice view. The girl seemed like a straight shooter, and I fit right in. I'm not much of a dancer, but I caught the perks. She'd have get-togethers with her friends in our kitchen. I was touchingly asked for permission for it. Boiled and fried something delicious, fed a variety of food. I, too, showed that men are capable creatures, and brewed back mulled wine, pots. One day their hangout rented a big cottage, where dancers from all over the country come together. Strict dance code, just people dancing. And me. When they met me and asked me what school I was from, tango, flamenco, I answered from a secondary school. I was impressed by the community. The crowd was shocked by the fact I was the only one not in the subject, and they took me as a mascot of the event. They wanted to teach me the moves and vibe, but I hold the defense of brutal masculinity. Everyone smiled and nodded condescendingly in response. The defense fell after a little of red, my first ever hokan, and a cute, persistent girl with big eyes. She showed me that bachata was easy, pleasant and sexy. She taught me how to do it properly. She spread my legs, slipped her slender leg between them, and led me in the movement. It turned out that the whole point was a slight swing of the hips, mutual friction of bodies, and rhythm. The professional dancing near me encouraged me, nodded, and at the end of my debut broke into applause. A 2-day party in a cottage with such a company, bath, hookah, alcohol, and new experience was impressive. Years later, my other dancing friend on my I only know bachata, I'll show you, with a laugh claimed harassment. It turned out that years ago that girl with the big eyes and the entire company of dancers had screwed me over. In real bachata there are no intertwining legs, no rubbing of hips, no stroking of bodies. So my list of master dancers went back down to zero. I felt used. No regrets at all. First of all, it's not bachata, it's bachata. Second of all, it's all there. In bachata sensual and in bachata fusion and other variations. Dominican bachata does not. So your other dancing friend fooled you. Fourth story. Attention. I have a question. I'm sorry, but I can't be silent anymore. People who are over 25 and wake up at 6 in the morning with a smile, go to the gym after work, then hang out at the bar, feed kittens at shelters, and run 20-kilometer marathons on the weekends like nothing. Are you using anything illegal? That's the secret, right? I can get tired while I'm just putting on my shoes. Well, I have my own small business. After work I go home. I help my wife around the house. I take care of the kids. Then I go to the gym. After the gym I go to the pool. Then I take the kids again. We go to a cafe or a movie theater exhibition together. On weekends we go hiking or do volunteers work. Where does all this time and energy come from? My secret is that I am a liar, that probably get enough sleep, eat right, and have the least amount of stressful job, and their vitamin levels are fine. My mom is 15. In the morning, 3 kilometers to walk on foot, then a walking day. After 3 kilometers back on foot, with a visit to the store, have a coffee with a girlfriend, just a walk. In the evening, cleaning, cooking. 2 or 3 times a week, fitness. Weekends, pool. Saturday night, whiskey. At the same time person has a history of coronary artery stenting, and in general health is so bad. I'm 30. I wake up tired. People just don't show the unpresentable aspects of life, so give the impression that everyone has endless fun and you have a boring life full of worries. Fifth story. Victim of greed. I went out to the store at 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm walking through the yard, and a lady comes up to me. Man, can you give me a favor? The lady is walking away from a snowdrift. That was a car 3 days ago. The lady is holding a snow shovel and a car brush. I get it. Dig up the car and clean it. The lady with the Puss in Boots eyes nods and holds out the tools to me. As a cultured person, I don't want to just tell the lady to FK off. Therefore, if it's your tool, $300. The plan was as foolproof as Swiss watch. Now the lady was going to start ranting, at which point I would gladly and knowingly tell her to FK off and go to the store. What I wasn't prepared for was the fact that 2 minutes later I'd get money on my phone, and the lady would calmly go home, leaving me with a shovel, a brush, and a 1-hour deadline. FK. I've never made money this hard before. And what's most frustrating is that I got into this mess willingly. Update. The lady asked for the phone number after she agreed to the payment voiced. It was uncomfortable to refuse. Sixth story. First impression. The first time I met my uncle was when he came to visit us about 10-12 years ago. It so happened that I was in the toilet when he came into our house. He comes in, and from the doorstep he asks where his favorite nephew is. He is in the toilet, Mom tells him. Then he walks confidently to the toilet and pulls the doorknob. Naturally, it's locked. Here he calls, "Andrew, the door is jammed. Do not worry, I'll get you out," and begin to break through the door. More vivid first impression of acquaintance I never received again. Seventh story. Memories. Many people here remember their childhood, how nice and sweet it was there. My most vivid memory is of being 18 years old. I finally left my alcoholic parents for a dorm. It wasn't very cool, but it was peaceful. I lived, at times, alone, without roommates. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows is coming out. On sale in the store, on appointment. Early Saturday morning. I buy the book. Yay, I don't even have to save up for 6 months. Go to the Institute for Pass. Read before the lecture. On the way from lecture. At home, eat and read. By the evening I had read everything. It would seem, what's the big deal? But it's best memory. I am alone. I read all day. No one snorks or stinks or yells. After hell, it was a corner of peace and cleanliness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.